Guys, welcome to another video, and you've got Mr. Everything English. Now this video is because of you guys. On my Instagram, I did a poll. I asked you guys, would you like a revision, would you like a video where I talk you through how to make a revision timetable? And you guys said yes. Now, before I talk you guys through and I make a revision timetable for you guys on the board, let's discuss if they're important or not. I'll give you guys my opinion. A revision timetable is super important, and I'll tell you why. Guys, even though I left school years ago, till this day, I still use some kind of timetable to structure my life. On my iPhone, I use the reminders app, I use the notes app where I write down everything that I have to do throughout the week. In my book over here, guys, literally, you can't see it, but I time. So these are all the videos that I've recorded. So I've got my TikTok, my Instagram, my YouTube, what to record, how long the video is, what time. And then on my phone, I've got it all timetable on how to release it. Now, I'm not here to tell you guys what I do, but I'm just here talking to you guys about how important having structure is. Now, why is structure important, guys? Because if I didn't do that, I feel as though the quality of what I produce would be terrible, because I would just be doing random videos. I wouldn't have some kind of structure in place or a schedule in place. I would be doing random videos. Then what would happen, guys, is I wouldn't be consistent. My timetable, my schedule, it holds me to account. And guys, that for me is the most important part. Because if you think about it, guys, these videos and everything that I produce, let's say I didn't want to make the videos. I could just stop. Nobody says to me, why have you not made the content? It's my choice. And to some extent, my timetabling and my scheduling is what holds me to account. And I tick it off and it's done, and then I move on and I move on and I move on and I move on. Now, let's bring this back to revision timetables. So many times I speak to year 11s and they're like, sir, I'm revising. Okay, so what are you doing to revise? Just reading quotes or reading a book. There's no structure, it's random and it has no effect. Monday they'll do English, and Wednesday they'll do science, and then Friday they'll do English again. But there's no program of how they're gonna progress week by week. How does the revision on this day link to the revision you do on the next day and the next day and the next day? Are you targeting your weak subjects? Are you targeting your important subjects? Because yes, certain subjects are more important than others, and that's a fact, you can't deny it. So your timetable must reflect that. The last thing I'm going to say before I switch and plan the timetable is your timetable must be realistic. Do not be a hero. Now, what do I mean when I say do not be a hero? Don't say, I'm going to revise 6 hours a day, wake up at 5 a.m., sleep at 1 a.m. and revise because I'm a dedicated student. Because all that will happen is either you will not stick to it and it will be stuck on your wall and look lovely, but in reality you can't stick to the timetable, or number two, you are going to burn out. Look at your week. So most of you go school, let's say 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. So those hours are gone. Then you probably need a break for about 4 to 5 or 4 to 6. Then you may go tuition, so that may take up certain hours. Then you may have a life, so you may do other things that take up time. You may do sports, and you may see family, you may see friends. You might just want to chill and watch a bit of TV. But you have to factor that in. There's nothing wrong with relaxing. There's nothing wrong with taking time off, so long as you stick to the rest of your timetable, so when you're supposed to be working, you are actually working. All right, guys, I'm going to switch the cameras on the board, and I'm going to create a revision timetable for a student currently in October of 2021, and I'm gonna make one based upon maybe 6 or 7 subjects that are being completed out by X student. All right, guys, let's begin. So you can see on the screen, right, that on the top I've got Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday and Saturday running. I've given you guys a day off, so I've given you guys Sunday completely off. Now, even though Saturdays is a free full day, I've still stuck to my timings of revision being between 5 and 9 p.m. Now, based upon your life, you can tweak this. So for example, you might start from 6 and finish at 10. You decide how you would like to plan your week. But let's begin plotting and planning. So guys, the 3 most important subjects are English, maths and science. Those are your 3 most important subjects. Regardless of what school you go to, regardless of your ability, those 3 will always be your most important subjects. So they're the ones that we're going to plaster on straight away. So Mondays I revise English, Tuesdays I revise maths, Wednesday I revise science, and Thursday I revise English again, Friday I revise maths again, and Sundays I am back on to revising science. So straight away as a minimum, I'm revising my important subjects twice a week as a minimum. Now guys, remember, I am making a timetable for a student who does these subjects. You may change it. You might do Spanish, you might do geography, tweak it to fit whatever you do. Now, let's say for example, you're doing English. This might be English language. This may be English literature. This may be math, I don't know, calculator, non-calculator, biology, chemistry. You fix and tweak how you wish to revise as long as you stick to it. Now, I started off by doing hour blocks. I started off, guys, by doing hour blocks of revision. Again, you decide. You might do half an hour English language, half an hour English lit. You might do half an hour chemistry, half an hour biology. You pick what you want to revise in that time frame. But as a broad picture, I've said that as a minimum, each main subject should be revised twice a week at this moment in time. I repeat, in October of the year. Of course, as the school year goes on, these timings are going to increase. I would expect you guys to be revising for a little bit longer. On Saturdays, maybe you start at 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. But I'm talking about at this moment in time, how much should you be revising? So these 3 are done. Then we're left with these 4. For now, let's put them down for once a week. So let's say we take an hour break. Let's say we take an hour break across the middle, and then we revise at 7 p.m. So you might revise French, then you may revise history, then you may revise IT, and maybe on a Thursday, you revise PE. So at the moment, guys, those are our key subjects put in. So guys, at the moment, those are our key subjects put in. So far, guys, I revise everything that I am sitting an exam on at least once a week. Now, as a student, let's think about what other educational related activities you do out of school. So for example, Tuesday at 6 p.m, you may go to English tuition. So guys, Tuesday at 6 p.m, you may go to English tuition. And maybe on Thursday, you go to maths tuition. So guys, maybe on Thursday, you go to maths tuition. Now, you might not be going to science tuition, but you want to make sure that you're getting enough exposure and similar exposure to your 3 main subjects. So because, for example, let's say you go to English tuition and maths tuition, we want to add another day of science revision. So on Friday we have quite a free, and Saturday we have free. Now you don't want to revise science twice because it might be science overload. So we might say that on Friday I'll revise maths and maybe I'll do science here. So now I'm getting English 3 times a week. I'm getting maths 1, 2, 3 times a week. And I'm getting science 1, 2, 3 times a week. Then you've got your other subjects, French, history, IT and PE, and maybe there's others that you do. Now, if you look at the timetable, guys, there's plenty of space still available, loads of space. This is not a hefty timetable. Now, I'm not going to fill this in, but this is where you have to use a little bit of your own judgment. You may, for example, say that maybe I'll revise French twice a week or history twice a week, but you decide that. Now, there's something, guys, on this timetable that doesn't exist yet. There's something on this timetable that doesn't exist yet. And this is something that I'm very, very big on. And one of the key things when it comes to revision, guys, is getting in that revision practice. That really important exam practice. Now for October, guys, I repeat, we're in October. Let's say you've been revising all week, so you've stuck to your timetable. So for example, for English, maybe you're revising Macbeth and you're doing English language paper 1, just for argument's sake. Let's say that's what you've been revising all week. Saturday, 7 to 9. I'm giving you guys an example, it might be Sunday. But on Saturday, guys, I would like you all, or on the last day of the week where you have that time, I would like you all to put 2 hours aside. And in these 2 hours, I would like you all to dedicate this time to actual exam practice. So for example, you might have revised the character of Macbeth and the character of Macbeth over there. Here, I would like you all to then go ahead and do a question on the character of Macbeth. Takes you 45 minutes. That still leaves you 1 hour 15 minutes. You may then have been revising maybe paper 1 question 5 intuition. That takes 45 minutes. I would like you then to also answer a paper 1 question 5. You still have half an hour left because that was 45 minutes Macbeth, 45 minutes paper 1 question 5. You got half an hour left. You might pick a section of the maths paper and you might spend half an hour doing a half an hour block of maths exam practice. Now don't say to me, oh sir, working for 2 hours is really, really hard, I'm gonna get tired. Guys, your exams are 1 hour 45 minutes. Your English literature exam, paper 2, is 2 hours 15 minutes. You better get used to working quick for a solid period of time. But this is the important part. Now, again guys, you have lots of gaps. And this is where you slot in if you think you need to do any other work. So while you're revising, you might think, you know what? I'm really struggling with maths. So you might start adding a few more hours. But guys, if you look at it, this is not a hefty timetable. You've got 2 hours a week. You pretty much, guys, got 2 hours of revision a day. And then you're doing your supplementary stuff. If you do it, some of you maybe don't even go to tuition. So you can use this time to add in your own subjects. But guys, this is how you create a revision timetable. It's not anything crazy. It's not anything complicated. The most important thing, guys, is it must be personal. It must reflect what you're struggling at. Number 2, it must give the important subjects. Now, I'm not dissing these subjects. I'm just being realistic. As you look into your future and as you look into your A-levels, you have to ensure that you get a decent mark, especially in these 2. And if you want to specialize in sciences, then of course, you must smash your science. Number 3, guys, do not do too much in the beginning. This is not a lot. Start with this, and as the weeks go on, start filling up these hours. And once you filled up these hours, start adding more hours, because at the moment, we're only working for 4 hours on a Saturday. Well, 3 at the moment. Fourthly, guys, as time goes on, start adding more exam slots. So for example, let's say we hit November. In November, you might say, you know what, I'm going to remove IT. I'm going to put IT over here. And I'm going to have another exam slot over here. So now you're doing exam practice twice a week. Guys, this is the important part. Because you can know everything about everything. But if you can't do the practice, if you can't practice at home and do exam answers, then your knowledge is worthless. And guys, that's it. I really, really implore you all to please create a revision timetable. It's not hard. I just created one on the board and maybe it took me 5-10 minutes. Use this as a template, but please make it realistic and please stick to it. All right, guys, as always, thank you for your support. I hope you found this video beneficial. It's not something I normally talk about because it's not related to English per se, but you guys requested it. So here is a video on a way of making a revision timetable. It's been Mr. Everything English. Peace.